Mollisey Farm breakthrough is a really good one, and it deserves attention, and that's why I wrote about it in the book.
Mollisey Farms was a really wild place in the middle of this big swamp that was cleared, and starting in about 1969, about 25 square miles of this swamp was cleared for agriculture.
We had the practice in the U.S. of building levees to protect from floods. In the Mollisey case, it was agricultural opportunity that resulted in big levees being built. The idea was to keep the water out so that farming could occur.
Historically, for thousands of years, every late winter, spring, as the snow melt above us and the winter rains, the river would flood out of its banks and across this broad floodplain of forest.
The floodwaters spill into these floodplains. They nourish those floodplains with nutrients. They provide spawning areas for fisheries. They clean the water. They enrich the soil. And they really work as flood protection.
One of the great advantages of floodplains is their natural storage areas for water. When you lock off 25 square miles where the water can't go anymore, you basically exacerbated the flooding in other parts of the river.
Levees have the unintended consequence of accelerating water flow. And so that when the floods occur and overtake the levees, the floods are very dangerous. The water is moving faster, and there's no longer a floodplain to absorb that water.
About 10 or so years ago, we saw the potential to maybe restore this place. So we began to help the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, who's our partner there, to purchase the land, get it back into conservation, and then we've helped with the reforestation effort. We've planted over 10 million trees in this 25 square mile clearing, one of the largest reforestation efforts in the United States. And then we thought there was something more we could do here, and that's reconnect this floodplain back to the river itself. And so we were actually able to breach the levees and put giant holes. We moved over 2 million cubic yards of dirt. It's not as simple as you would think. If you don't put the breaches wide enough, then you can cause extreme scour, and the river can scour out parts of the land. If you don't put them in the right places, then you could actually divert the river. But right away, the towns downstream saw relief next year in the flooding. Waters didn't get as high as they normally did, and instantly that winter after we did it, the waterfowl came back in just amazing numbers. Fishermen loved us. They didn't have access to this floodplain because they were cut off by the levees. Now the fishermen come from the river in their boats and really, really do well out there fishing. Also, downstream from Mollisey, about 40 miles, is the city of Monroe. It's a city of about 75,000 people in the metro area. They draw their water from the Ouachita River for their drinking supply. So the benefits by having that water cleaner when it comes to them will accrue in economic benefits over time. And of course, the flood storage benefits.
These floodplains really work as flood protection. It works. The greatness of the Mollisey story is the partnership. The government was our partner in that one, and we were able to demonstrate that if we broke down the levees so that the floodplains could be recreated, there'd be great outcomes in terms of investments in nature, protection from floods, these kinds of things.
Learn why saving nature is the smartest investment we can make.